Welcome to Reality Hour. I'm Adam Samuel. Today, we're talking some AGT. This is going to be like AGT therapy a little bit because God knows we all need it. Joining me for this podcast is my co-host Eric. How you doing today, Eric?
I'm doing good. Despite all the crap that went down on the show, of course, I had a good couple days. I had a nice long weekend. I went back to the beach for an overnight Tuesday, Wednesday, and had my favorite pizza in the world again, which was good. I know Adam was telling me in the pre-show that he was craving a pizza, so I'm just rubbing it in at this point. But despite how terrible the show was, I'm doing well. So that's what matters.
That's all that matters. AGT. This is our first round of semis, and I gotta be honest, there's not a lot to like here. And that's so painful to say because at the beginning of the season, I had high hopes. And as Eric and I were discussing literally right before we went live, I feel like I've said this a lot. Maybe it's just this year because reality TV has just been so rough this year. This is, I think, I want to say easily, but then I feel like there's another season that you could bring up that I would like contest it with, but this has got to be like the lowest of the low for AGT, right, Eric?
You might not say easily because you're afraid I would correct you, but I'm not going to correct you. I'm going to say easily. This is my least favorite season I've ever seen, and the weird thing is it's not the fault of the production itself, which is shocking because the actual how the acts are being, the actual production value has not gone down since COVID. It's gone up. But it's just the acts aren't as good.
It's not just that it's bad; it's that it's really bad. And I don't know all of the results as we like to do here on Reality Hour, but I do know that the one kind of remaining act that I still had like a tiny glimmer of attachment to, Shakira. Nope, it's all plants, and you would think that if they're all plants,
they'd be better.
They'd be better, but no, they're just not. I don't find myself interested or engaged with these acts. I don't feel myself like invested, other than Shakira.
Let's just drop the title now because we're going to be saying it over and over again. Sorry, I just don't get it.
Yeah, it's true, and like Eric was saying, the production, like when the producers, we usually like to rag on the producers constantly of the show, but here when it mattered,
for other reasons, but
here I think they stepped up, which is it's rare that I'm going to compliment the producers, but I think they did a good job with the hand they were dealt with the production. I love seeing these places the acts perform, but it's just the acts. Like there's no, I've said this before, like if your pancake batter is bad, you're not going to have good pancakes or something like that. You know what I mean? There's going to be a lot of food.
I think you used a better analogy before, but we're all tired. It's AGT. It kind of sucks, but yeah. What I'll say is that like every single one of these acts, I've seen something similar before, and the one I haven't was for a reason that I haven't seen it before. So we'll get there.
Eric, in your opinion, as rough as this tunnel of AGT that we're in, what would be a bright spot finale for the season? What's a potential happy ending that this season could, or is it too far gone?
No. If Christina Roy wins, that would be a justified win, and I would be happy with that.
Do you think she can? I'm just not seeing it. I mean, Brandon is just...
We'll get there, but I really hope that people will vote for her. I'm voting for her, so...
All right. Well, let's just actually, before we actually get into the deep dive, are there any headlines from the AGT sphere to talk about? Any news? There's one thing. I don't know if we should save it for when we talk about the contestant, a certain wild card, or should we discuss that here?
We'll save it for when we talk about you know who.
All right. Has there been any updates on Simon Cowell? Any news there?
Nope, no news. I mean, he's clearly hoping to be better soon because apparently he'll be trying to be going back to Britain's Got Talent for a Christmas special we're going to do. So, not a competition, thank God. But remember when AGT did that Christmas special years ago? We're going to do that for Britain's Got Talent.
I vaguely remember Darcy Lynn and Piff the Magic Dragon being a part of it.
Well, that was incorrect because it was actually after season 11.
Well, that's awkward. Was it Paul Zerdin? Was he there?
I think he was. I know it was after Grace Vanderwall just won. So,
all right. So let's get into the deep dive of the contestants. So, in theory, these should be the top 22 best acts in the country. Type in theory, right?
Or even the best acts on this that were auditioned. I'm not going to go for best acts in the country. I'm going to say the best 22 acts that were on the show this year, and that's not even true.
So first up, we have Double Dragon, a singing duo, and I gotta be honest, I totally forgot that they made it this far. I was like, oh wait, they're still here. Like, totally had no idea. Totally forgotten about them, and yeah, they go all in. Like sometimes America's Got Talent loves to do this thing where they have a song pick and then they go with that song pick for the staging. Like, I don't know, if there's someone singing a song about mountains, they'll have them stage behind mountains. Like here, they're performing Juice, and they're waving around juice bottles. I was like, that is so AGT. Like if I had been flipping channels, I would have immediately known it was this show. What did you make of them, Eric?
They actually, despite what Howie said, I think they can actually sing. But they have no idea how to be marketable. They're way too cheesy, way too over the top. And despite the fact that they can sing, they were goners. So
yeah, they're there. The fact that I forgot about them and I was like, they're.
Well, you forgot about lots of acts. I remember them, but not necessarily in a good way. And so much potential, and they just don't know how to use it.
Eric is the memory of Reality Hour. He just remembers everything that because I can't. But yeah, for their singing, yeah, there were pitch issues, but this is not an act that has a lot of space to go. They're not going to be, the producers wouldn't allow them to do a slow song. They're always going to be going for the outrageous Vegas-y kind of show of it all. And that just cooked their goose right there. There was no space to move. Had they made it to the finale, it would have just been almost the same kind of act. So It makes sense that they made it through. That they were, I'm guessing, right?
They got cut. Yeah.
Were they in the Duncan save?
No. Yeah. Right, got out cut.
Yeah, it was there's no chance. But they were. I will say, they were fun, and this was where the fun mostly ended for the episode. No, you. What do you think?
I think there was one act I enjoyed.
Oh well, yeah, that's one. But I was at this point, I was oh, maybe this could be maybe it's not going to be so bad. I know they're goners, but it was giving me hints of the old AGT structure of we get those kind of acts, but they go home first, but there's still that enjoyment from it, and I got that enjoyment, and I was maybe it's gonna get better, but no. We move on to look. I've spoken about this. I've written a blog post before Reality Hour. I had a blog, and one of my first blogs was about AGT. Wildcards are not picked to be. They're not bringing back ringers. Wildcard is just another way of saying an act that's going to go home that round, and that is basically the situation with Dancetown Family. Am I right, Eric?
You are. I mean, it's weird because on Britain's Got Talent, the wildcards have done well actually. Sometimes, made it in it's the top 6 or top 5 even, for a finale at least. But yeah, not here. This is on AGT. They bring back random ass acts that no one really wanted to see again, but we're gonna see them again anyway, and then we're gonna vote for them out again, and that's how it's gonna go.
They were cut, right?
Yes, of course.
That's the thing. The act, it's fun, but it felt like the same thing as last time. It was very similar. It was the exact same staging,
but they're extremely forgettable for me.
Exactly. There's no face to it. It's just a bunch of people in mass dancing, and there's
on a checkerboard. I remember the checkerboard more than I remember
behind a beach.
Yes.
And I mean, like, look, they're fun, but they're not an act that could win. They have no winnability to them, and that's just you could have given this spot to someone else, but that's just not how AGT producers think about the show. They just think about it for maybe a mix of like convenience and a fodder act. Like that's probably what they're going for. Although this might not have been that convenient. I don't know.
Sure.
What I got.
I'm excited. Right. So before we start, next act, how do you think they did?
Broken Roots. Well, I will say, very weird choice for them to have them perform by the Bates Motel. I was like, right there, I was like, ooh, like, are we going for like a Halloween kind of thing? Yeah, this a lot of one other act. It was like filmed at the Universal theme park, which, by the way, I love that theme park. I've gone there multiple times. No,
I'm a Disney person.
I am totally a Disney person, but their Harry Potter stuff, like the park itself, super fun, like ridiculously, like
not my thing anyway.
All right, so anyway, they are performing by the Bates Motel, and I just have nothing to say for these people. Like, it's just all of a sudden, like this, because were they a wild card? Yeah, right.
No, they were brought back to replace Thomas Day, but
yeah, so they were a wild card. But it's like we get one of these acts every so often, like the country bros who just make it far, singing about like traditional country songs. And I thought there wasn't going to be one, and now all of a sudden they're there and they're in the finale, right? They're totally in the finale, right?
Yes, they are. But I
can call that one just like from history of watching the show, just because, like, come on.
You see, I was shocked that they made it through. I thought this was not even mediocre country. It was just bad. It was bad karaoke. I'm blown away they made it through.
There was a few seasons ago, there was a country guy who literally sang off key. Like his performance was all off key. He was like an older guy. He sang like a country song. Still made it through. Like, I
mean, Kevin Skinner won the show.
Who was that? It was like, I think his name was Marty. I kind of want to. There was like some country dude. I don't remember. If you know in the chat, if you're watching, if anyone's watching. Yeah, but Eric, you cannot like disregard these guys. They will sneak up on you. You will think they are going out. I'm going to even make a bold prediction. I think they're top 5 next week in 2 weeks in the finale.
God, I hope not.
But what if they win?
It would be the second worst possible result.
It would almost be fitting. Like that's.
No, it wouldn't. No, it would be the second worst result, so that wouldn't be fitting.
Look, I love these shows. I usually want to get invested, but sometimes when a show just takes such a nosedive, where I am right now is that gif of Elmo like with the fire. Like
where we are, where we were on X Factor Celebrity, basically.
No, X Factor Celebrity, like it was fun train wrecky. This is not fun. Like there are two kinds of a train wreck. There's not fun train wreck. This is not fun. Like this is just not entertaining, and I'm bored. Like that's really what it is.
I'm just so sad thinking about like I remember like the first year we started this podcast, and X Factor Celebrity was I mean no X Factor.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't X Factor Celebrity. It was X Factor 2018 with Dalton as the winner, and that was my all-time favorite season that we've covered so far of any of these shows.
Of all the shows we covered on Reality Hour, that's your favorite? That
was my favorite season by far.
Mine was Maddie's. Like that was.
I know.
We had such a good first year. What happened? Where did these shows?
And then in between that was Shin Lim, which was my second favorite season, and then everything just gone to shit since then.
It's been what 3 years, 2 years that we've been doing this.
Oh God. Anyway, yeah, Broken Roots didn't just make it through; they were in the top 3.
I'm telling you, Eric, I think they could be like top 3 again, like of the season.
God, I hope not. But it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, it would surprise me because they're not good, but who cares at this point?
All right, we move on to Spyro Bros. They are Diablo artists. A few weeks ago, didn't we say like the show Diablos? I love that. That was like
That was my one pun of the season.
I love it. That was great. I was like rewatching some of our old episodes, and I was like, whoever came up with that, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I was like,
That was my pun of the season.
I like it. But yeah, this act kind of blows up because it just because there are mistakes, and the coolest part of this is that they're performing in front of the Harry Potter ride. And like I've been there, like I know that place, and I was like, I almost like I wanted to go, but
you wanted to ride the ride instead. That would have been a lot more fun.
I would have loved the ride. Have you ever been? No, you've never been to that. No. That ride is one of the best rides.
Yeah, it's interesting.
All right, but yeah, these guys, the act just goes. There's flames, and it kind of goes down in flames. They drop not one but two Diablo. Is it what's the singular of it?
Glowy balls.
The what?
The glowy balls.
There you go. They drop not one, not two. And there's this super awkward moment when they're like passing the Diablo. One of the guys is blindfolded and he's turns and the Diablo goes flying away. And the guy like does a dab like he like did something awesome. I was like,
okay.
What do you think?
Well, several mistakes and an act that isn't conducive to sitting there and watching it for an hour equals they were goners. So,
but here's the thing, Eric, and you can correct me if you think I'm wrong, but I believe had the act gone according to plan, had everything worked out, probably still would have gone home.
Yes, absolutely, they were goners.
Yeah, they were gone like that. So far, so like I'm pretty able to like predict this. I think.
Well, I was able to predict it. I wasn't able to predict the order and how it ended, but I got the top 5 exactly right.
Next up, we have Thomas Day, and we have some stuff to talk about here. But before we will talk about that, I just want to say he's a teen singer. He is performing a Billie Eilish song, and yeah, so a few weeks ago we had heard news that he had dropped out. He used this line that it was because he had football, and when we were podcasting, I think I said like, there's totally like a different reason, like something else happened. And we got some news where Thomas Day was kind of sharing this football story. He was having people pay for cameos, and he was feeding them this story. Here's what I think happened. I thought that Thomas Day got his news that he was COVID positive, which he was, as the show kind of discussed. And he thought, okay, I'm done with the show. I can make a little extra money, doing these cameos. And then the producers called and he realized, crap, I'm busted. And I feel like at that point, if you're going to pull that scummy move and lie to people, you have to turn it down. And the fact that he accepted it just made the situation worse for me, Eric. What about you? What do you think?
Agreed, basically. I feel like charging your fans the hero lie about why you dropped out of AGT.
There's like 2 levels of wrong there. It's like having your fans pay for that.
And the third level wrong is being brought back despite that. And despite being nothing special as a singer, honestly. I mean, good luck to him, I guess, but...
He didn't make it? I was thinking he was at least... I predicted he was probably in the Duncan save and got cut there.
Just flat out cut.
Yeah.
You thought he made it?
I thought he was in the like Duncan 3 and probably got cut there.
No.
But like, look, I don't get the hype for Thomas Day. I haven't seen a lot of hype for him. All I've seen is like his TikTok fans, which he kind of already had. And yeah, I will say, like, I kind of love this producer move. Like they caught him. You know what I mean? Like they probably saw here's my hypothetical scenario. Like they saw him like doing these cameos and they're like, you know what? Here's an idea. We're going to call him, have him back on and totally like out this lie of his. And I was like, this is something I would do if I was a producer. Because it's so brilliant and like there's like it's like chaotic good. You know what they say, like with like that's what it was.
Yeah.
And look, the song itself.
Eh.
Well, look, there's some good parts. It's not all bad, but
It's
it's like there's some good parts, but overall there's also pitch issues, and it's kind of a. I'm giving this like a C.
C minus.
Basically. So yeah, but I love that producer like power move. Like they shut him down. Like they and he could have. The ball was in his court. He could have like declined, but the fact that he took it, knowing that this was going like, it's just all on him, dude. And like, why would we bring him back? Like, as much as I enjoy that power move by producers, could have had such better acts here.
Yes.
All right, we move on.
He was robbed.
Alan didn't make it.
No, Fang E was robbed.
Oh, I thought we were talking about like Alan.
First to who should have gotten the wild card.
All right. Well, Alan Silva is an aerialist. We've seen him a couple of times. This act is instead of kind of doing with the drapes, I guess. I don't even know what the words for it is, but he does his act with chains. Look, here's my kind of take on this. This is nothing against Alan. I'm not that taken by aerial acts. I don't find them that interesting.
The one I liked was aerial animation with the girl with the animation behind her.
That's different. That's like a marriage between like the aerial and the video projection. Like that's when it's solely aerial like performing. I'm just not in. Like I find it repetitive and kind of not interesting. And I still don't understand why like the stigma that people have of having mats. Like, there should be no problem with a mat beneath you. Like, I don't feel like no one should be risking their life for AGT. AGT is not a show worth dying for. Trust me, it is. Maybe you could make an argument for other shows that it's worth that risk. AGT is not worth that risk. I think we should have mats again.
Okay.
But the act itself, like I said, it was cool, but I'm just not taken by it. I don't find that much. I kind of go, meh. And kind of like.
Where do you think he placed?
I feel like this one's hard. I feel like probably Duncan save. And he was saved by the judges.
He was saved by America on the Duncan save.
Really? Wow.
Get ready for the real shocker coming later.
Well, I mean, look, he's a cool dude. He's talented. It's just not my thing. It's kind of weird, I would say. And now we move on to, she didn't make it, right?
Shakira? No.
Shakira, my God, I loved this girl. Lady, she's not a girl. She's a lady. She is performing The Chain by Fleetwood Mac, and
great song choice.
Good. Look, did I enjoy the song choice? Loved it. Do I think it was a good choice for AGT, like when it mattered? Not really, but
well, it didn't matter because she was a gun regardless of what she's saying.
But she's not a plant, Eric. She's the only one.
Mm-hmm. And that's why she's goner. She's not a plant. She had no sob story, and she was going to be gone regardless of what she did.
I loved her. Like, how old is she? Could she go on American Idol? Like,
no, probably not.
Just gets worse and worse, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, she honestly deserved to make it through after this. I mean, hands down, she was definitely in the top 5 best acts for the night. So I'm more of an little disappointed that she got cut.
Was she in the save?
No.
Eric.
We'll get there. We'll get.
Oh, it gets worse.
Well, for me, it gets worse. For you, no.
Oh God, I love Shakira. Such a shame. I think she didn't do anything wrong. She just had a bad song choice. Like, look, Eric, I love the song choice. The problem is if she wanted to make it through, she needed like I want to say I have nothing, but I also don't want to say it like that. You know, like
you don't needed that one.
What?
You want something like that,
like that, but not like she needed like the bam, like the. This was not. It was a fun song choice. Like if this was an American Idol performance, I would have loved it. But for an AGT performance, when you need to go balls to the wall, this was just not that song choice, and that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we move on to Brandon Leake. He's a spoken word poet. He totally was in the top 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about Brandon, Eric.
Sorry, I just don't get it.
I don't get it. Why is he a favorite? I mean, I know that he has sad stories to tell, and last week he at least did something that I thought was good for people to hear, but this week was just back to just being a sad story. And I don't know why he's a favorite, because I would never pay to see him live. I don't know anybody who would pay to see him live. But I guess this is what AGT has become. I mean, it's about the sob stories. It's not about the talent. This is the merging of the sob story with the talent that the show is inevitably going to end up with. And if he wins, it's kind of the end of America's Got Talent as a talent competition, as far as I'm concerned.
I agree. For me, like when I was watching,
and I'm not sure I'm going to watch it again if he wins, because what's the point?
The thing is, when I was watching these shows, like when I first started watching, whether it be American Idol, America's Got Talent, the thing was that the people that I would see on the TV, they had like a superpower, if that makes sense. Like they could do these like cool things, and I love that it was like they were almost larger than life, that they could do these things. And on America's Got Talent, you got singers, you got dancers. Like, look, I might not find the dancing act that entertaining or kind of that amazing, but I get that they have a talent, and I get that they have something that is like
I will even say, I will add, Brandon does have talent. I mean, it is in a way a talent to do what he does. It's just not the type of talent that I know anyone would pay to see in Vegas. And that's it. I mean, it's just, I don't get it. He seems like a lovely person. I'm really happy with with his performance last round, when he talked about how Black Lives Matter and all that stuff. But this round, I just don't get. And he made it top 3, and he got all the judges fawning over him. And he has a very good chance of winning next week. I mean, 2 weeks from now.
The heart of this act is when you strip out the story, it's just a guy talking. And when you compare that to
we
people,
can't strip out the story, because the entire act is the story.
Yeah, but when you compare that, like to comedy, to magicians, to singers, it's not the same. And as much as I agree with some of the things he talks about and the movement, I don't feel it's.
Well, that was last performance.
Yeah.
I cannot fault him on the last performance he did.
I can't, but the thing is, it's when you get down to it, it's just a guy talking.
Yes.
And I think that if he was to win, it would be such a damper on the show for just people who, like these dancers, like they put in hours and hours, and it's not on the same level. I feel like when you strip it away to what it is, I just feel like it would be such a damper to the show moving forward that I don't know. I don't really. It's kind of hard to talk about.
Yeah, basically. I mean, seems like a lovely person, but
lovely person. Like I said, I agree with what he talks about. I think he's the act last week was strong, and I totally agree with it. It's just the act itself, I feel, isn't up to par to what other acts on the show are.
Correct. Okay, now let's talk about my sad moment, which is Malik.
Yeah, Eric was kind of a pretty big fan of Malik Dope Drummer, and from the way he's talking, I can pretty much predict how this is going. Was he just outright cut? Because that would just like be the worst.
It was just that would not be the worst. The worst is what actually happened, which is that he lost the judge's save.
Yikes. Oh God. Well, he's performing. I will say I love the staging for this. The staging this season, if nothing else, top notch. Like I love it. Like it's cool. It's fun. I almost feel like the acts that actually perform in the stage, like of the AGT stage, are getting like it's not as fun. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
agreed. But my God, he was so robbed. I mean, so unique, puts on a hell of a show. Like literally at one point of the act stood on one of those hoverboard things and moved around and drummed. And like, God damn it, I'm so mad he didn't make it, and other acts did.
I feel he should have made it over Brandon, and
Not just Brandon. He should have made it over everyone who made it. He was the best act of the night.
When you compare like Brandon and Malik, like Malik is a show. Like it's an
Malik is someone
experience.
I would have considered paying to see.
Yeah, if you had not like, I would have predicted he had made it. It's because like you were kind of like so down on it that I was like, oh.
Well, I knew he wasn't going to make it because he needed the judges' save last time.
Oh right, I totally forgot. Yeah, he was done.
Yeah, he was done regardless of what he did, but the fact that he was actually in the top 6 was good, at least of the vote. So,
well,
and judging by who the next person is, he was definitely in 6th.
Yeah, let's talk about Archie Williams now. He is a singer. He has his whole story about how he was freed from prison through this project that kind of helped
The Innocence Project.
What?
The Innocence Project.
Yeah, through people, it helps people who were wrongfully imprisoned, and his story is awful, and he's kind of a big name. But this performance, I would have cut him out right here, honestly. Like, not only, I would have honestly ranked the dancers who performed on the checkerboard above him. And I say that honestly because this was just off. Like the story away, the talent itself, this was like a pitchy mess. Like just a total mess. Like just like really bad. Like this was like a D- kind of performance that I would have given it, Eric.
Okay, so let me say something. I was shocked that he wasn't in the top 3 of the vote, and then I watched.
He should have gone home. I don't think.
I said, let me finish until I saw the performance he gave. Then I'm shocked he made it into the top 6. This wasn't good enough. I mean,
it wasn't that it was good enough. It was bad. Like it was.
Yes. And here's the fun story. So I ranked him before this week started at number 1 for the week on MJ and the MJ Power List. Yeah. I thought he had a chance of winning. Nope, that's gone.
I also think he could still win though, Eric.
No, he can't. He needed the judge's save. He's.
Oh, he did. I thought he made it like outright.
No, he was in the Duncan save. He lost the Duncan save, and he needed the judges to save him.
Oh, yeah, he's not winning.
He got saved over Malik, which was the excruciating part.
Yeah, like it's just the story. Like we've seen this. Like I feel like we've been watching a train like slowly. Like
it's been coming to this point for a while,
and now I feel like
where it's becoming the ratio of story to talent has shifted from talent here, story here, and they're converging, and now story is becoming more important.
I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. I believe AGT is a show that you watch one season of, and like that's usually
preferably a season like,
but not this season.
Preferably an earlier season you watch.
Yeah, because what a mess! Like just what a mess. My God.
Let's talk about the one other act that has any potential to impress me.
Robert Badagali, and that's the thing. Roberta. What? Roberta. What did I say? Did I say Robert? That's wrong.
Robert.
Anyway, but she's just another archetype. Like this is truly Eric. Every season.
Yes, absolutely.
Every season.
We have one of her. Yes.
Story.
But the difference is, this is the archetype that actually I like, sort of. She sometimes, I mean, it was a good performance. It wasn't a winning performance, but it was a good performance. And I think in a few years, when she gets more developed as an artist, she'll be a force to be reckoned with. As it stands now, she's probably going to be in the bottom 5 next in the finale.
Yeah. Judges are gonna bus her. And
They're not going to have to bus her.
Yeah.
She's just going to be in the bottom 5.
She seems like I will say, lovely young lady. But Eric, how many of these? It's like they're like we get one every year, and it's the same thing.
But I will say, Roberta does strike me as the type that has potential as she develops more, as the voice gets better, as she gets more training, as she gets more experience. She will get better, and she will be amazing in a few years.
Did she make it through? I guess she did.
Yes.
Wow. Top 3?
Yes.
I just can't get excited. I've seen this.
I mean, considering the crap that we sat through in this episode, I put her in the top 3 easily. Personally, I think she was the only person who earned her spot in the top 3 of the ones who got there.
Anyway, those are the acts. There you go. We do it for you people. What's coming up next? What's on the horizon for next week?
Next week, Christina Ray better not screw it up because I need her to win because she's the only potential winner who I would like.
I'm just like,
and I need one good fucking thing to happen this year.
I'm just imagine I can see it like they're gonna give the performance. Christina's gonna sing. She's gonna sing great. So this is what's gonna happen. Sophia and Heidi are gonna stand. They're gonna give her a standing ovation. Howie is not going to stand, and he is going to take that bus. And he is gonna start, and I can just see Eric's face going, "Oh no."
It's possible. It's possible. Howie is dumb enough to do that. So
we are due for a reminder. Like we make Howie the butt of the joke, but the reason he's the butt of a joke is because
he'll occasionally do something incredibly terrible.
And we're due for one.
No, we're not. We got one early at the beginning of the season.
I think we get like 2 ridiculous Howie rulings this season.
I think giving the golden buzzer to Brandon kind of counts as like 5. So,
oh God.
Personally,
what is this show? What has happened? I don't know, Eric. I don't know. Anyway, anything else to talk about from the episode, from the week? Reality TV shows in general?
I mean, just to say that if you like Brandon, good. I'm glad. Go support him. But I hope someone likes him because otherwise we're suffering through this for nothing. So I really hope that people like him.
And that's all she wrote. I'm Adam Samuel. You can find me on Twitter at AdamSoapbox or on the website AdamSoapbox.com and AdsTVblog.com and my YouTube channel where I review books. Where can we find you, Eric?
EricAscher.com, bit.ly/EricLoveds, Eric_Ascher on Twitter.
As rough as the show is, it's always a pleasure to talk with you. I will say that.
This podcast makes the show almost worth it.
I watched the show for the podcast because it's so much fun. To our viewers, thank you for watching. We will be back next week. 3 more podcasts coming up next week on Tuesday. I'll be talking Dancing with the Stars with Grace. Wednesday, Eric, the other Eric, we will be talking Big Brother. And the next Thursday, another more of this.
The second semifinal, and then we will talk about our finalists.
Can it get worse?
Oh, yes.
It can always get worse.
Yes. It can get worse.
If there's one thing
2020, the one thing you should have learned by 2020 is it can always get worse.
It doesn't get better. It just gets worse and worse.
No, it does get better, but it can get worse first.
Yeah. All right. Till then. Bye.